He was last Saturday against Dunfermline, and today's match referee is Mike McCurry for Dundee against Celtic. And Ivano Bonetti, absentee manager for the third match running, as his team kick off against the champions-elect. And that was Johan Mjalby winning the aerial duel with Stephen Milne. There's Milne again, 31 years old. Gavin Ray. Romano. Won it well. The youngster Mackay, not the best choice pass. Good flick though by Milne. And what Dundee want to do in these early stages is unsettle Celtic. It happens very rarely, and when you look at the statistics, they tell you that in domestic football this season, out of 33 matches, Trevor, Celtic have lost just twice.
Well, going back to the solidity of Celtic is, Martin O'Neill bases his side on that. A lot of physical strength, but great ability within the team as well. But they certainly work very hard for each other. And as you say, Dundee need to try and unsettle Celtic early in the game. Got the advantage early on. Of the slope here at Dens, and they're going to really make use of that if they can.
It was almost Dundee who were unsettled there at the back, and Martin O'Neill on the far side, I think, could do with a pair of shades to try to survey the scene here, because there's a bright sun over Dens. It's Ketsbaya. Hope he's got some protection on that old napper. And he comes again. Shooting chance for Ketsbaya. It's an awkward one as well. Struck it well, and it took a bounce in front of Douglas.
That's what Dundee need to do. Need to get about the midfield as much as they can. And it broke to Ketsbaya. It was a good shot. Rob Douglas keeping his eye on it closely.
Ketsbaya with 2 goals for Dundee in his short time here. I think the Dens fans have to see the best of him. He's a player of real quality. And talking of real quality, that wasn't from Alan Thompson. He can pile them in from that sort of range. It's not a problem to him. He's a big player for Celtic in terms of scoring goals and also supplying goals. He was the big creator of goals for them last season, and he's been doing exactly the same this time around.
Since Alan Thompson arrived at Celtic, he's settling very well to the formation. Again, it's another pointer to Martin O'Neill, picking players to fill positions in his side. He knows what formation he wants to play, and Alan Thompson does it very well.
Walter Del Rio for Mackay. Caballero is chasing that one, but Chris Sutton was comfortable. Fan wins the header. Petrov onto it. Hartson's layoff. Lambert gets the ball caught under his boot. Powerful run from Ray through the midfield. Robbed of possession though.
You see already, Rob, that Barry Smith has moved over to left back. Dundee are sticking with the back 4. But Barry Smith's experience, I think, might be put up against Didier Gap as the game goes on. I think that's why they tactically changed and put Mackay at right back.
That's a foul by Thompson on Romano. Not too much doubt about it. A little trip in late, and it's interesting to see how Dundee have shuffled here as we have another little look at this. The trip on Romano, but Massimo Beghetto, who's been playing left back for them, is playing much further forward as Barry Smith slots in at left back.
Yeah, it's almost going to 3 centre-halves, but I think they're well aware of Didier Gat's pace on the right-hand side for Celtic. They want to try and nullify that as much as possible.
Fans free kick. It's wide for Smith. Now Ketsbaya. Change of pace gets him away from Larsson. Squared for Ray. Another shooting chance for Dundee. And it's another good strike. This time Gavin Ray on target. Not the great test of Rob Douglas, but it's an encouraging start for the home team.
Yeah, they're working nice little opportunities. Ketsbaya has been involved once or twice. Works it well for Gavin Ray. The ball is under his feet a little bit. Doesn't quite get the power that he wanted. But still has to make Rob Douglas make the save.
Hartson's flick. Smith was sharp. Caballero posing problems for Balde. Pushing forward, Beghetto. Did well against the physical presence of Balde. Advantage played by Mike McCurry. Trying to get himself out of a tight situation there, Fabian Caballero. It's Dundee's throw. It's a bright start on a bright day from Dundee. Although that ball into the box doesn't really ask any questions of the Celtic defence. Thompson, left by Larsson. First there was Del Rio. Did well, Walter Del Rio, and earns himself a free kick as well. That little nudge from Henrik Larsson. But Celtic still to start playing with 5 minutes gone, and that's got to be good news for Dundee.
Yeah, it's all credit to Dundee. They've started well. They've making all the challenges, make it very difficult for Celtic to really get over the halfway line so far.
It's Sutton, an unchallenged header, and his old strike buddy Henrik Larsson, who at the moment is enjoying a happy relationship with John Hartson up front. They were both very impressive last Saturday against Dunfermline. And they've got 45 goals between them this season. It really is an impressive haul, and Hartson finds himself well ahead now of Sutton in the scoring charts. That's good control from Caballero. Brings in Ketsbaya. Temuri Ketsbaya on his left foot, shot blocked. Caballero again. He's looking very bright and lively in these opening stages. Muscled out a bit by Neil Lennon, but here was a chance for Ketsbaya. Maybe took too long here.
Yeah, but again, it's good work from Dundee as they break the ball free from their own half, and Ketsbaya again is the man who's making the burst forward. And it doesn't quite fall for Dundee in the end.
And there's a fierce challenge from Temuri Ketsbaya as well. He holds his hand up immediately. That's a clear foul on Lambert.
It was given as a foul by the referee, but seemed to be fairly cleanly taken by Ketsbaya.
Certainly challenging fiercely for the ball. Lots of determination about Dundee so far. That's what they need. That's what they so often are lacking. And if they can keep up this level of performance, they might well be asking some questions of the champions-elect.
It's going to be interesting to see how the back three for Celtic work as well. Sutton plays in the middle, which pushes Bobo Balde out to the right-hand side. I tend to think sometimes he's a little bit more vulnerable out there. Seems to be central position. But we'll see how that goes, and so all credit to Dundee for the start they've made.
Gray and Romano have combined well at central midfield so far. Here's Massimo Bighetto. Possession taken away by Lennon. Now it's Hartson against Del Rio. Backing into the player, making it awkward. Agat's cross deflected, and the first corner kick of the match. Now, this will be a test of Dundee, because Celtic have so much to throw at this. Forward come Mjällby and Balde and Sutton. Larsson and Hartson already there. Petrov has been out the score from set pieces as well. So there's really 6 potential targets for Celtic from this corner kick. The left foot of Alan Thompson swings it in, and it's punched behind by Julian Speroni. The first flurry of action in front of the 22-year-old Argentinian.
That's good delivery from Alan Thompson. We see it regularly from him. So there's such a physical height advantage there for Celtic.
It's Petrov this time, and it's Ketsbaya at the near post. Lambert trying to get the ball back into the danger area. Thompson combining with Mjällby. His cross blocked by Romano. Gets a second bite. Now Lennon. Lofted in. Balde is there. Bighetto is well up. Ray touches it off to Romano. A bit of composure about Dundee, and they'll need that. Free kick has been given, and everyone fairly mystified about why the whistle went there. So Martin O'Neill seeing a sturdy performance so far from Dundee against his side. Lee off. Romano surprised by Alan Thompson behind him. Dimitrov driving through the midfield, but it's a poor pass, easily read by Ray. Fitzbaya can't keep it, and now Agat's getting beyond Barry Smith. Agat's cross is fierce. Larson got something on it, but it's Gavin Ray that slide the ball out of play.
Well, two occasions there where Dundee players have lost the ball in midfield to Celtic, and that just brings pressure onto them. It's not necessary. They need to use the ball quicker than they have done the last couple of minutes.
And up and under from Thompson. This could be dangerous for Speroni, and he made a hash of that under no pressure. He's been a good goalkeeper since coming into the team for Dundee, but he flapped at this. Henrik Larsson was in the vicinity, but made no great challenge for it.
The ball was in the air such a long time, Rob, that it was a goalkeeper's nightmare, really. And he was expecting the challenge to come in, and when it didn't come in, he did fluff it. But Dundee get away with it. Eventually offside given against Henrik Larsson.
Well, he's taken off the sunglasses now, which tells you something about the weather conditions, having deteriorated slightly at Ben's. Looked as if Martin O'Neill could have done with a pair of those sunglasses earlier on, but viewing a lot easier now. You're viewing BBC Scotland with the live match Dundee against Celtic in the SPL. Paul Lambert, his pass cut out by Dave Mackay. Stephen Milne, another young Scot up front, but lost that from his point of view all too easily. Thompson's cross blocked by Romano. Alessandro Romano might well be off ski at the end of the season. His wife is in Italy. Maybe these are his last few months with the Dens club. Lennon's cross, Hartson's flick, and Didier Agat not too far away, although Barry Smith had tracked his run.
There's a very intelligent flick here from John Hartson. Not trying to put the ball towards goal, but just trying to put it into a place where Didier Agat there could possibly get on the end of. Didn't quite, Rob, didn't quite work out there for Didier Agat, but he's so good at coming in late and causing difficulties in the defence for Dundee.
Combining well these days, John Hartson, with his teammates. It takes a while to settle, it takes a while to know the play of your teammates, but every sign that John Hartson now knows exactly where everybody is around him, as Ketsbaya is punished for that foul in the midfield. It's a Celtic free kick. He's certainly showing a desire to mix it to Murray Ketsbaya, and Dundee need to be aggressive. If Celtic sense a weakness, they'll be in. Balde at the edge of the area. Lennon's free kick, and John Hartson couldn't quite climb to get any great contact with his head.
Fan does well here, just putting John Hartson off, just making it difficult enough for him. I always feel that free kicks, set pieces are going to be very difficult against Celtic, and if you don't match up to them, that's the occasions when games can change.
Caballero's flick, Sutton was there, and Thompson having a look. Long ball for Hartson. Fan is there and deals with it well. Good play from Dundee. Romano to Smith, and working it well around the field. Now Bigetto and Ray. That was a difficult one for Ketsbaya, and Gavin Ray fortunate to get the ball back. Smith again, over the top for Milne. Sutton unperturbed. He strolled it last weekend against Dunfermline, and he's looking pretty comfortable here as well. Dario Bonetti having words there with the fourth official Craig Thompson, and Terry Ketsbaya having a little chit-chat with Mike McCurry about that incident involving Sutton and Milne, which was a little more than handbags at 10 paces. Balde, there's a bit of pace, and he's decked by Bigetto, and Mike McCurry reaching into his back pocket for a yellow card. So the first booking of the match. Bigetto for this.
Well, as you can see, he does try to take Bobo Balde out there. Bobo showing some pace, in the right back position.
He's a brave boy if he tries that. Don't upset Bobo. Sutton's free kick. Hartson's flick. Fan turns it away. Good jump by Caballero, but still beaten by Mjalby. Again, Hartson the target for Sutton. Hartson beaten by Fan. Well played, Walter Del Rio. Figueto gets Baya. Has it back. And alongside him appears Gavin Ray. Now that's a poor one from Ray, intended for Stephen Milne. And the live football from BBC Scotland just keeps on coming. And we're at Ibrox next Thursday for the UEFA Cup tie between Rangers and Feyenoord. 8 o'clock. Don't miss that one. Here, no goals at Dens with 15 minutes gone of Dundee Celtic. An intriguing tussle so far, this, and Dundee possibly ahead on points, in fact, more than possibly. Thompson's pass easily cut out by Mackay. Good pass as well for Stephen Milne, and that's a free kick. Taken out by Mjalby. Clever little touch from Milne.
Did that well, Stephen Milne. He's got a tough job. He's got Mjalby on his back all the way through this game. He's got to be strong. Good feet work there.
The Chinese national team captain, Fan, 32 now. And scorer, of course, against Celtic in the 3-1 defeat at Celtic Park in September, or even December. Dundee fans liking what they're seeing so far from their team, having squandered a 2-goal lead against Dunfermline here on Wednesday. Thompson looking for support, finds it from Lennon. Now Petrov into the feet of Larsson. Well judged pass for Thompson, and that was not well judged, but his angle's wrong there, Alan Thompson, and you can normally count on his deliveries from the left-hand side, and so many Celtic goals come through that very route. But the Dundee fans bathed in some sunshine and more than happy with the way things are going so far. And you need a fair few flags if you're a Dundee supporter. Caballero for Milne, and Mjalby did well. That's the experienced Johan Mjalby, of course, heading for the World Cup with Sweden. Larsson. Romano was there. Fan. Losing possession. Neil Lennon, not something he's guilty of too often. The pace of the game has dropped a little. Lennon to Larsson, one back by Ray. Smith for Caballero, and there's Sutton. Makes it look very easy when he plays at the back, Chris Sutton. All that's missing there was a little puff at the cigar. Here he comes again. Lambert alongside. Hartson and a Gat. Lennon. Hartson holding off Del Rio. Lovely pass, it's Lambert. The opening goal for Henrik Larsson. He just walked his way through. 29th goal of the season. And Celtic 1-up.
Just for getting the feeling in the last 3 or 4 minutes, the Celtic have really found their pattern and rhythm. And I was just thinking that perhaps Didier Gat's not really appeared much in the game so far, but somebody else has done it this time. Paul Lambert's made the break. It's a great ball through from John Hartson. Great work here. But Dundee not really getting close enough to him, but that was a superb ball into Lambert. As the ball's broke free, Salman, who's always on the spot, Henrik Larsson just to finish it off.
And Dundee defence, from their point of view, opened up far too easily. The pass from Hartson rolled through, and Lambert set up Larsson to break the deadlock. And that is Henrik Larsson's 4th goal of the season against Dundee. He scored in all 3 games against the Dens team. Dundee can't afford to do is be rattled by that goal, because they've played well. It's really been their one aberration so far, being carved open there. But they need to maintain full focus on this match, Trevor. But I'm sure there'll be some inquiries into the ease with which Celtic opened the scoring there.
I think they just started to bully the midfield a little bit now, and Dundee really need to get together, get Bayer back in it, Gavin Ray get close to him, and Romano just make that a little bit more difficult for Celtic in the middle. So far they've done that, but you just need a little bit of quality from Celtic. We got that from John Hartson. The ball through to Lambert was excellent. Larsson having an easy finish, but that sort of changes the game now. Dundee really have to pick it up, try and take the game to Celtic.
Paul Lambert instrumental in opening the scoring, and Bertie Vogts will be giving him a call before too much longer. I don't think Lambert will change his mind about Scotland, but it would certainly be good to think that he would do a U-turn and resume his international career. Paul Lambert, highly influential for Celtic as he was for Scotland. Agatz changing gear and moving clear of Smith, and that's a good follow-up challenge from Del Rio to halt the Celtic wing-back. Petrov lost his balance and lost the ball. Caballero, Stephen Mill, but he won't catch it. Rob Douglas won the race. Caballero had Ketsbaya at one side and Mill on the other there, and that all fizzled out a little bit for the home team. Hartson, away by Mackay. And launched away by Smith. Galby's header directed towards Thompson. Trying to get beyond Mackay. Now back the way. Neil Lennon squared for Paul Lambert. Ketsbaya gets a challenge in, but it breaks to Agat. And Larsson was waiting for that cross. Fan intercepted. Thompson. Speroni missed that completely. And Del Rio nodded the ball behind. Well, there must have been the sun in his eyes, because this went right through him.
Yeah, another nightmare moment there for Speroni.
Here's Neil Lennon. For Balde, the knockdown for Sutton. And didn't get too much on it there, Chris Sutton. A comfortable save for Speroni. Chris Sutton's last Celtic goal was in December against Dundee.
Just far too much time and space now for Celtic to operate. And it's quite a bad miss really from Chris Sutton in the end. Bobo Balde knocked the ball down to him. And that could have really made things difficult for Dundee if they were to go further behind now.
Well, there was the man who set up Sutton with that downward header. He's difficult to contend with at set pieces because of his height and his bulk. And Sutton certainly had a chance there to make it 2 for Celtic. It remains at 1-0. But Trevor, Dundee really have to start getting a grip of this again, as they had in the opening stages.
Well, they were very physical early on and got in the challenges extremely well. As we saw in that last bit of goal-mouth action for Celtic, that Neil Lennon had all the time in the world just to pick out Bobo Bali at the back post. And when you've got when you're playing against quality opposition, you can't allow them to have time. You've got to unsettle them, and Dundee are failing to do that at the moment.
So Celtic ahead after 25 minutes through Larsson's goal, and looking comfortable and in control as well. 1 away from 30 for the season, Henrik Larsson. Agat closing down Barry Smith and forcing him into a high, hopeful ball upfield. It's a comfortable spell this for Celtic. Larsson's flick. Petrov can't quite get there. Dave Mackay up for Stephen Milne. And suddenly for Dundee, the passing and the layoff's not quite working. And Celtic taking charge. And Ketsbaya, if he's not booked here, will be a lucky man for that trip on Petrov.
And he does go in the book there, rightly so, because Petrov was really breaking into a lot of space, and that was a threatening moment again for Dundee. Just feel at the moment, though, that Dundee don't have anything up front, that the ball's not sticking up there when it's going up to Stevie Milne or Caballero. The ball seems to be coming straight back. The physicalness of Miaubi and Sutton and Baldi are really overpowering the two front men for Dundee at the moment.
So Ketsbaya booked. Sutton's free kick, Fan's header, Begeto, Ketsbaya, Gavin Ray, and again Dundee unable to keep the ball for any length of time. And under pressure now again. Del Rio with a good pass out of defence to Caballero. That's for Ketsbaya. Here's where he's dangerous. Wide for Begeto, needs a good ball in for Dundee. And that was too close to the keeper. Picked out of the air by Rob Douglas. Stephen Milne was the man for Dundee, lurking at the far post.
Rob Douglas showing that he's still awake there, not been in action for the last 15 or 20 minutes.
Might see some action here though. Dave Mackay's cross. And that looked out before Begeto got there. And Dundee have to get the final ball right, because they're so seldom into the last third of the pitch at the moment,
That's
Trevor,
right.
that it has to be a good one.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing there. Dave Mackay decided to put the ball in. He didn't have a particularly good angle to put it in from, and Alessandro Romano was getting around the back of him. This is Rob Douglas, just showing us that he's got a safe pair of hands.
Yeah, for the last 10 minutes he could have been at his nose in the Sunday papers, but he certainly made a good job of plucking that one out of the air. John Hartson against Barry Smith, corner kick. Looking a confident player at the moment, John Hartson. 17 goals in hoops for him. And he scored against Dundee in September in the 3-1 win. And scored one of the 5 against Dunfermline last weekend. Thompson's cross. Gets Bayer first there. Caballero hands it back. Agat. Petrov. Now Thompson eyeing the penalty box again. Under the bouncing ball, Chris Sutton wins it. Offside, some respite for Dundee. And it's number 2, Dario Bonetti, in charge on the touchline, with Ivano still in Italy, apparently looking at players, apart from recovering from his wedding. No shades, but he might need a fag before too much longer, I think, with the pressure keeps up?
Well, I think Dario will be disappointed that his team's not really challenged every ball like they did in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And Celtic did look uncomfortable in that period. As soon as you back off from Celtic, they will start to play, and they have played well since then, but have really been given the time to do so.
And that first goal makes Celtic feel a lot more comfortable as well. They're ahead, and domestically, not often when they're ahead do they lose. The goal scorer, Henrik Larsson. It's for Agat. Smith did well. Tough job for Barry Smith trying to cope with the lightning bursts of Didier Agat. Good layoff from Larsson. Lambert fires it across, leads straight into an offside position. I mentioned Rangers Feyenoord live on Thursday night on BBC One Scotland. Next weekend it's the Tennant Scottish Cup, and in the quarter-finals, Forfar Athletic against Rangers. What a day that's going to be at Station Park, and we're live there from 10 to 3 next Sunday afternoon. This Sunday afternoon, 1-0 Celtic at Dens, and if you've just joined us, Henrik Larsson has scored his 29th goal of the season. Walked into the net, set up by Lambert. Now Ketsbaia for Dundee. Great run from Timuri Ketsbaia. Didn't catch the shot after a thrilling run from midfield.
Well, it all opened up for him. You see it sped past Bobo Baldi there. Just couldn't get enough on it as the ball was going away from goal. Again, not really a problem for Rab Douglas.
Disappointment there for Ketsbaia, lacking the finish after a powerful run. Larsson and Lennon combine. That's a Dundee throw. Good work from Alessandro Romano against Lennon.
Yeah, just not enough of that sort of thing going on for Dundee. Romano getting his foot in. Just before that challenge, you saw Fan just backing off from Larsson entirely, and he could do what he wanted with the ball. You can't afford to do that.
You count the cost if you do that with Celtic. It's happened so often. Roll out the welcome mat and they will happily trample all over it. Here's Thompson. That's for Larsson over the head of Fan. Good covering from Del Rio. Then the mistake. It's Hartson, and it's just over. Thought I was heading in for a moment, but he got just too much on it, Hartson, after that blunder by Del Rio.
Well, firstly, it was overplaying again by Dundee. They seemed to slip up, cause problems for themselves. I think John Hartson will be disappointed that he didn't score there, because the keeper came well off his line. Speroni made it obvious, and John Hartson knew exactly what he was doing, had time to do it, but didn't quite pull it off this time.
Made the decision for him there, didn't he, Speroni, so far off his line. And John Hartson, who's scored in those sort of situations before, we're disappointed he didn't do so there. Meantime, a free kick for Romano's challenge on Petrov. Stilian Petrov sometimes accused of going to ground too easily, but he had little option there. This was clumsy, to say the least, and a booking for Romano.
It's the power and strength of Stilian Petrov taking him past Romano, and he had no choice but to bring him down, because again Petrov is bursting into space and really making Dundee very, very vulnerable at the back.
Another threatening set-piece situation. Thompson's delivery, and this time Julian Speroni gets it right. And John Hartson to contend with there. You need to be assertive when you're facing the sort of armoury Celtic have. Here's Caballero. Gavin Ray off balance and loses it to Lennon. Right place, right time for Fan. That was heading for Larsson. Here's Ray again. Now Mill. Dundee's throw. Stephen Milne in a hurry. Turning into trouble there, Ray. Larsson. Superb stuff from Larsson. Bringing Lambert into the game. For once, Lambert caught in possession. Gets Baya. Ray. Barry Smith's on the overlap. And Gavin Ray is having a bad patch. Last few minutes, nothing much going right for him, and that was a pass behind Barry Smith, which his skipper will not thank him for.
Well, there's a touch of desperation about Dundee's play at the moment. Don't know how to get back into the game. You have to look up front as well. I think for Dundee, there's no real focus of their attack. Caballero's wandering about on the left-hand side. Stephen Milne drifts out to the right-hand side. There's not very much in between, it has to be said. And the Dundee midfield are struggling to find any passes to make.
I think Ivano might be on the phone shortly saying get Juan Sara on, because Dundee not shy at making early substitutions if things aren't going their way. I remember it here in the cup tie against Partick Thistle recently, and Sara was brought on. I would imagine that thought will be going through the head of Dario Bonetti at the minute. Here's Thompson for Celtic. Fans header, and that's heading behind.
It's all very much hard going for Dundee.
Petrov into the danger area. Barry Smith flung himself at it. Agat against Vigeto. Pulls the ball back, pulls it too far. Gavin Ray taking the ball clear of the area. And back with Baldi, and out. Henrik Larsson's in some trouble over the touchline, and Chick is nearer than me.
Henrik Larsson has been in trouble, Robbie. He indicated to the bench just a couple of minutes ago. Might be a hamstring problem, I don't know. He's been called over. I don't think he's going to be able to continue. Brian Scott, the physio, is on. In fact, Lubo Moravcik will be coming on in a second to replace Henrik Larsson. It looks like hamstring trouble. There was no one near him, a soft pull up. And as you can see there, being replaced by Lubo Moravcik.
Gets by out for Dundee. Wide for Bigeto. This is promising. And again, the final ball not good enough. Frustration for Bigeto. Frustration for Dundee.
Yeah, they need something to happen for them. Ketsbaya done well to release Bigeto. Baldi worked hard. Keep the cross out.
Lubo Moravcik waiting to come on. Henrik Larsson having gone off. And obvious concern on the faces of John Robertson, Steve Walford and Martin O'Neill at the touchline there, as Larsson indicated that he was in a bit of bother. So Larsson off, and Lubo Moravcik on. It's one of those situations where Dundee won't exactly be celebrating at the sight of Lubo Moravcik coming onto the pitch, although at least one threat is away.
Yeah, Moravcik's just going to take up the position that Larsson vacated, straight up the middle of the field.
And the news from the Celtic technical area is that it is a hamstring problem for Henrik Larsson, so depending on the severity of that, he might be missing for several weeks. Celtic will hope it's not any more serious than that. It's Moravcik, Lennon. Lennon's crossing goes Hartson, shoulder to shoulder with Dave Mackay. And a free kick given against the Welsh striker for that little nudge.
I think John Hartson's claiming that David Mackay was backing into him there. It was a fair decision by referee Mike McCurry.
He's getting valuable first-team experience at the moment as 20-year-old Dave Mackay. Here he is again. It's Mjällby and Petrov. Smith is there, won it well. And Caballero. Free kick. Tackle from the back by Alan Thompson, and it's a booking. Yellow for Thompson, and that's the 4th booking of the match.
That was more clumsy than anything from Alan Thompson, just getting on the wrong side.
Five minutes to half-time. Can Dundee make something of this set piece? In from Romano, and it's a poor one, and it's headed away by Sutton. And Celtic dangerous on the counter. Kicked in by Agat. Gavin Ray, and that's pretty aimless, you'd have to say, from Dundee.
Yeah, I really thought that he overplayed early on, Dundee, in midfield. Too many passes, couldn't get the ball forward quickly enough. But when you do look up front, the very, very lightweight. So Caballero is not somebody who's going to be a target man. And Stephen Milne is only still a youngster and not quite used to the physical side of dealing with the likes of Mialbi and Baldi and Sutton.
Agat's cross, it's way beyond Alan Thompson, and out. Johan Melby fancying himself here for a long throw. Moravchik missed that one. It's a long chase for Stephen Milne, and one that was always looking as if it was going to end in tears. I wonder how much longer before we see Juan Sara on the pitch, Dundee's top scorer last season, and this. He could be a threat up front, and they need something. It's just not happening for them.
That'll be a good move to make Juan Sara a more central player up front, and that's what Dundee are lacking. There's no focus at all. No release ball for the back, the defenders or the midfield players at the moment.
There's a quality pass, picking out Agat. And corner kick. Turned behind by Fan.
Chris Sutton showing us his capabilities on the ball there as well. Fired over a 40-50 yard ball directly to Didier Agat's feet.
Moravchik's corner kick. Speroni punches it away, only as far as Thompson. Danger not over for Dundee. Back in from Agat, and there's number 2. And it's Johan Mjalby. His first goal since the opening day of the season against St Johnstone. 2-0 Celtic with the half-time whistle beckoning.
Well, again, Didier Agat's got all the time in the world just to float the ball back into the danger area. And with that height in there for Celtic, Mjalby, Baldi, and one or two others, something's bound to happen. It's Mjalby who's got himself free. Doesn't have to do too much with it. Speroni unable to get his fingertips to it.
But look at the marking, Trevor, there, or lack of it. Dundee ball watching, and you don't want to give Johan Mjalby too much room in the penalty box. He steered the header down. Simple as you like. 2-0 Celtic, and it could get a whole lot worse now, you feel, for Dundee.
Bad timing as well, Rob. Just before half-time, Dario Benetti is going to have his work really cut out now to organise and motivate his team for the second half.
No stoppage time to be played, we hear, so just a minute left of the first half. Moravchik's cross, bouncing away from Speroni, and Dundee looking very uncomfortable at this stage.
Super ball in there from Moravchik, got himself half a yard. Flung the ball across the 6-yard box there from wide on the left.
Still in Petrov eyeing the area. Stretching out was Del Rio to work the ball away. Flicked on by Ray. Caballero knocks it down. It's Thompson in control. And now Lennon. Moravchik hits the ground, and the free kick given against Barry Smith. And this free kick will be the last action, I'm sure, of the first half. Celtic against Dundee this season, 4-0 in September, 3-1 in December, and 2-0 already in February. John Hartson not on the score sheet so far, but Henrik Larsson and Johan Mjällby, the two Swedes, are. Half-time at Dens Park. And Celtic well in control of this SPL match.
A commentary team of Trevor Stephen and Rob McLean.
I wonder if there was a phone call from Dario Bonetti to his brother Ivano during half-time to tell him in Italy what is happening over in Scotland, because the Stars on Sunday so far are Celtic. 2 goals ahead and looking very comfortable indeed. And that late first-half goal from Johan Mjällby, only his second of the season, was a real hammer blow to Dundee, Trevor, because any thoughts they had about getting themselves back into the match hit hard by that second Celtic goal.
Well, that's right, and Celtic had just lost Henrik Larsson as well, so Dundee might have thought a bit of firepower had been lost to Celtic, but not to be. They've been really guilty of not closing down fast enough in midfield, and generally all around. Too many crosses coming in from the sides, from the wings for Celtic, and with their physical presence in the box, that's all going to cause problems, and indeed Dundee did get punished just before half-time.
Dundee make an immediate switch at the start of the second half, and it's Javier Artero who is on in place of young Dave Mackay, so that will be a straight swap in that Artero will play right side, but he'll obviously play further forward. He's much more of an attacking player than Mackay, and it'll be interesting to see what that does to the balance of the Dundee side. But you would imagine that it won't be too much longer before we see a sighting of Juan Sara on the pitch, because he is a goal threat, and Dundee have to have a go here. There's no point now in damage limitation at the moment. They're getting nothing out of the match, and you would imagine that their bravado of last season would have said, let's have a go.
Moravchik immediately making an impact in the second half. Happy, prepared to take the ball in tight areas, and wins a free kick for Celtic in a very dangerous position.
There's the view for Alan Thompson, and with his left peg he can swing this one right into the danger area, and there's Bobo Baldi well above Fan to power down the header, but he powered it wide.
His reaction tells you everything about this. Created opportunity for himself, his strength at the back post. Alan Thompson picking him out. He couldn't guide it. Should have done better that time, Bobo Baldi.
And it would have to be said, Trevor, not a great challenge from Fan, as Baldi put that header in, and that's where Dundee really have to be competing. Celtic with so much physical strength to throw at these set pieces, and if Dundee don't compete in the second half, they could get a real hiding. Celtic well equipped to do that even without Henrik Larsson. That's Artero, and that's Sutton. The news of Henrik Larsson from inside the away dressing room is that the injury not as bad as first feared. It is hamstring, but hopefully for Henrik Larsson it doesn't keep him out for too long. Moravchik, his deputy in this second period. Neat touch from Hartson. Good work from Gavin Ray. He's strong, but beaten there by Moravchik. And the pace of Didier Higat almost got him there. It looked like mission impossible, but when you've got his sort of seeding pace, you can make just about anything.
So again, Gavin Ray in the middle of midfield for Dundee, outnumbered, surrounded really by green and white shirts. And no real time to get his head up and find a pass. There's just too much activity in the Celtic midfield.
And the Celtic stranglehold in midfield is well known in Scottish football. The last 2 seasons it's been a permanent fixture with Lennon and Lambert always at the heart of it. When they get the ball, they tend to keep it. Agat's grounded, no free kick.
Guetto's done pretty well against Didier Agat, certainly did so in the first half. Keeping close to him, as close as he possibly can, because we all know about Didier Agat's pace. If you let him use it, it can really rip you apart.
Moravcik to Lennon. John Hartson's layoff, Petrov there, and Ketsbaya wins it back. Timuri Ketsbaya, who started the first half strongly for Dundee. The former Wolves and Newcastle star. But Dundee being hassled out of it in midfield under all sorts of pressure.
Dundee continue to try and play through midfield as well, and because they're outnumbered, it might be just a good idea just to miss the midfield out and play straight to the forwards. But of course, we discussed it in the first half, they seem to be so lightweight up front, Dundee. It's not an obvious release ball.
Lennon's free kick. Hartson's the target, misjudged by Del Rio, and he's helped out by his central defensive partner, Fan. To Caballero, who after a bright start to the match, faded out almost completely. He's a player of some quality, although getting back to full sharpness and still short of there. Javier Artero. Barry Smith. Target is Stephen Milne. Good touch, good control. Now Caballero. Back with Milne. That's for Artero, but short with the pass. And it sets Alan Thompson off and running. Thompson again, Gavin Ray there for Dundee, going back and tracking the run of Petrov. Caballero's layoff, asking a lot of Milne. Celtic on the ball with Moravcik, now Agat. Coming up in support is Bobo Baldi. He's no slouch either. Great ball in. Well played Fan. It beat Del Rio at the near post, but the Chinaman was there to intercept. Now Ketsbaya. Great challenge by Chris Sutton. He can do it at the front, he can do it at the back.
Superbly read there by Chris Sutton. You saw that Neil Lennon was just being outstripped for a little bit of pace from Ketsbaya and came across really well to cover.
John Hudson. Penalised. For the challenge on Walter Del Rio. He was grappling a bit, wasn't he, to get past.
I think Walter Del Rio's done pretty well against John Hartson. Sticks with the task there, doesn't make it easy for him.
Mind you, that could have been interpreted as 6 1/2, couldn't it? They were both grappling at each other there to try to get through into the penalty area. Artero for Dundee. Caballero. Cleverly lifted in. There's Ketsbaya. Corner kick. Took a deflection on its way behind. Useful ball in from Caballero. It's Ketsbaya across to take the corner. Fan and Walter Del Rio both up. And that's a complete waste.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Timuri Ketsbaya and Dundee didn't have too much faith in themselves in the penalty box there. Not too many bodies thrown forward, and the quality of the ball in wasn't particularly good either.
I don't think Daniel was too impressed with that. A rare set-piece opportunity around the Celtic penalty box, and it was wasted. That's overrun by Del Rio. Agat tries to punish the mistake. Lambert. for Moravcik. In for Hartson, away by Del Rio. Lambert. And Petrov was queuing up for that as well, and there was a breakdown in communication between the two Celtic midfielders. They were looking to test out Speroni there. Mistake by Balde. Caballero. Artero. Romano's cross blocked by Lambert.
Dundee certainly haven't been up the goals. We've seen one or two nice movements down the right-hand side. Artero's got himself involved on that side of the field for Dundee, trying to give him something down the right.
Free kick given against the challenge on Stephen Milne near the corner flag. It needs a better delivery this time from Dundee, and it needs a little bit of aggression in the penalty box as well. 5 in there for Dundee, gets by just outside. Romano's free kick. Fan missed it. Gavin Ray has a crack at it. And Neil Lennon fires it away. Begeto to Kitsbaya. Ray. Del Rio. Fan's pass is useful for Artero. Deflected back into the path of Caballero. He's short with a layoff. And that's what you call a hospital pass from the trade to Romano, which allowed Petrov to intercept. Caballero tries again, and then again he's lost it. And he tug at the shirt. Petrov, free kick. And Fabian Caballero looks at times as if he'd rather be somewhere else.
Not had any influence in the game at all, Caballero. Didn't look neat and tidy on the ball. He's a good finisher given the opportunity. Certainly not really contributed too much in this game so far. I don't know how long he's got left. Not sure what he can do on the field.
Dundee thinking about a second switch, but don't jump to the conclusion that it's Juan Sara, because it may be that it's Khaled Kemas, the young Frenchman, who's going to come on for Dundee shortly. 1 goal for his new club so far. And again, Caballero muscled out of it pretty comfortably from Celtic's viewpoint. The champions elect have a free kick against Romano. And that was pretty blatant, I think. Not high on the subtlety scale from the Italian midfielder. Petrov requiring some repairs. And now Dundee in a hurry to make the change, and it's going to be Caballero, who really has faded almost into insignificance up front for Dundee. And the only surprise for me is that it's not Sara who comes on. Maybe he's not 100% fit, and Dundee don't want to take a chance on him at this stage of the game. So it's going to be Khaled Kemas, 22 years old, from France. A lot expected of him. End of match for 6-goal Fabian Caballero. Hasn't really looked like making it 7 here today. And when you think back to the great days of Sara and Caballero last season, they were a real potent partnership up front for Dundee, but injuries haven't helped, and neither has had the same sort of impact this season. So it's Kemas on, Caballero off. Chipped up by Thompson. Good work from Kitsbaya, won it well, wanted it back from Milne. Stephen Milne hangs his head because he didn't find the pass that was going to release the Georgian international. Another free kick, against Romano, who's already been booked, and he'll have to tread carefully. There's been a couple against him in the last few minutes. Another yellow means game over for him. Artero in from Mill. Kemas to Ray. Leaves it to Ketsbaya. Now comes the support from Gavin Ray. And pushing on is Massimo Beghetto. Romano for Fan. Trying to instill some urgency about this Dundee performance. Wide for Javier Artero. Well, that's a terrible ball in, and that's the reason Artero was on the pitch, to deliver a little bit more quality from those wide positions. But the last thing that was quality.
That's right, you can have as much possession as you like, but if the last ball's not a good one, then all the good work's put to waste. We'll pick out Fan for Dundee, who's played exceptionally well in that first half and continues to do very well in the second half. The ball was the attacking third there for Dundee.
That was him. And he's showing the sort of attitude that Dundee need to have right through the team. They want to be winners, they have to be winners. No prizes for second, and they're very much playing second fiddle here to the champions in waiting. Foul against Neil Lennon. There's the combination, in fact, of Lennon and Moravcik. Del Rio with the free kick, and no doubts about that one. Balde. Casual with the pass, Neil Lennon, and a thrusting run through the middle from Lambert. Good work from Ketsbaya as well to stifle the threat.
Paul Lambert's done well, a lot of energy in his game, always prepared to run forward past the ball. Leaves Neil Lennon just to sit on the odd occasion.
I think he'd be a contender for man of the match if it was down to me, but it's your job apparently, so... Chris Sutton, another outstanding performer for Celtic here this afternoon, and you can still take part in the competition. You've seen the numbers already, we'll show you them again. But it's all very comfortable for Celtic, very much in control, able to play in third gear. If indeed it's that advanced for them, they're strolling it at the moment. No great questions being asked by Dundee, and especially in situations like that where the ball is handed straight back to Celtic. Live football coming thick and fast from BBC Scotland, and then Thursday it's Rangers Feyenoord in the UEFA Cup at Ibrox. 8 o'clock is your time on BBC One Scotland, and next Sunday it's the Tennant Scottish Cup Forfeit against Rangers at Station Park. Be there at 10 to 3. That's better from Ray, but not the pass. Again, he's on the back foot, chasing shadows. And it's a gap in possession, stumbling at the edge of the box. Played away by Fan, and it's given away by Beghetto to Lambert. Now it's Moravcik, some space in front of him. The reverse pass almost through for Lambert, clever idea. Sutton. Moravcik down for Lennon. It was comfortable for Celtic last weekend against Dunfermline, and they're playing this at a stroll again against Dundee. Lennon's cross, bouncing in the box. Moravcik there, did well to turn that back in. Speroni in trouble, helped out by Ray. Petrov, shooting chance, just wide. Dundee under pressure.
Moravcik does well here, hooks the ball back. John Hartson finds himself underneath. Speroni just doing enough. And Gavin Ray just doing enough there as well, just to put Petrov under a little bit of pressure to hurry his shot.
Free kick going against John Hartson. But Julian Speroni has been on top form for Dundee since coming in place of Jimmy Langfield, but one thing he doesn't possess is great height, and he seems to be very nervous under the high ball, which he showed again there, Trevor.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable whatsoever. The ball was hooked over by Moravcik, and Speroni couldn't really make up the ground. But Dundee just managed to get away with it that time.
Moravcik, an ideal replacement when you've got to take Henrik Larsson off. He was fouled there by K-Mas, I would have thought, but no free kick. Massimo Beghetto, and it's a pass which offers little hope for Stephen Milne, learning his trade, age 21. Good to see a young Scot in the Dundee side, but it's not been an afternoon that he'll include in his memoirs, I don't think.
So I think if Stephen Milne was going to thrive in a game like this, he needs good quality ball to his feet. That's not really been coming to him at all. And, he's found himself starved of opportunity.
Petrov offering options to Neil Lennon when he had the ball at his feet. And that's the secret of the Celtic side. When one player is in possession, you'll find 4 or 5 others trying to find some space and giving some options. It's teamwork, and it's working well. Lennon and Lambert always at the heart of it. They'll never be far away from possession. And here's where things might start happening with Moravcik. Lambert, not picked up. That was intended for Hartson, but the flag was up in any case. Offside given.
Again, Paul Lambert featuring strongly. Picked up a great position there in the box, and Moravcik, he's so good at this. So Lambert in the distance with his hand in the air.
So I thought when the ball was played he was on there.
Yeah, I think he's been given for Hartson. Trailing offside there, the ball from Lambert.
On a sunny afternoon, it's almost literally chasing shadows for Dundee against the side with their eyes firmly fixed on another championship, and there's nothing anyone can do about that at this stage. Celtic strong and getting stronger. Moravcik foiled by Romano. Petrov for a Gat. Trailing 2 Dundee players wide with him. It was intended for Hartson. Del Rio cut out the trouble. And that's a throw-in. Right at the corner flag. And it's for Lambert to take it. Offside, Agat. 66 minutes gone at Dens Park. You're watching BBC Scotland, a live match from the SPL on a sunny Sunday afternoon. And it's certainly sunny for the Celtic supporters, who have a 2-goal lead, both in the first half, both scored by their Swedish internationals, Henrik Larsson and Johan Mjelde. Larsson taken off injured with a problem with his hamstring, but the word is nothing too serious. Ricocheting around, finally stopping at the feet of Ketsbaya. The challenge though from Balde, which won it for Agat. Stopped on his tracks by Del Rio, that was important. He still has it, Agat. And well, that looked like a theatrical fall to the ground from Agat to win the free kick.
Yeah, he seemed to go down fairly lightly, got himself surrounded. There's a bit of physical contact, but not very much there, but the referee certainly bought it.
Yeah, he's been conned there, I think, by Didier Agat. There were 1 or 2 maybe dubious challenges before, nothing too serious. And when he saw the ball running away from him, he thought, I'll fling myself down. And it certainly worked for him. And Speroni could be under pressure again with this free kick. Thompson and Moravcik are there. 5 big men in the box. It's Thompson, blocked by Mill. Moravcik, drilled pass for Agat. A quick step from Didier Agat, finds Hartson, holding off Del Rio. Does well, John Hartson, to work it back to Thompson. Change of direction for Celtic. Chase on for Lambert. You can still take part in the Man of the Match competition. There's the telephone number, 0900 10 225. And you can text us as well on 07736 600 600. And you could be the proud owner of a DVD player if your choice of Man of the Match agrees with Trevor's. And there have been some subtle little hints we've dropped you along the way to guide you towards maybe his little fancy between here and full time. It would have been Ketsbaya the way he started the match, but one would imagine it will be a member of the winning team who gets the Man of the Match award. Kimas losing it to Mjalby. Artero works it back to Romano. Useful. Ketsbaya was jumping against Balade, and it's escorted away from the danger area by Didier Agat. Good skills from Ketsbaya, lovely pass as well for Begeto on the byline. Useful, and what a chance that was for Stephen Milne.
Well, you have to say it 2-0. If Dundee were to get a goal, then the game's opened up again. Begeto, I think, had a great game as well, actually, on the left-hand side. Couldn't do any better. Wonderfully released from Ketsbaya. The ball's in the right place. It's not often that Stephen Milne will get a free header in the Celtic 6-yard box, but he certainly had one there. And that's a great miss, a great opportunity gone there for Dundee to pull themselves back into the game.
I think Stephen Milne was looking at the big figure of Johan Mjalby bearing down on him there, and maybe took his eye off the ball for a split second, because that looked a real chance to pull a goal back. And here's another one. It's Kimas, saved by Douglas. Now Ketsbaya. Was he fouled? No, he wasn't, says Mike McCurry. And Lambert is hurt in the process of making that goal-saving challenge at the edge of the box. Lambert's down, and Celtic will be concerned by this.
Well, lots of activity all of a sudden there on the field. Bobo Baldi put Celtic in trouble, losing the ball there. Kimash, but Rob Douglas showing what he showed in the first half, that he's always alive and ready to make the save. And Paul Lambert there making a lunging tackle, a great saving tackle indeed, just to thwart Ketsbaya on the edge of the box, but he's hurt himself momentarily.
So Lambert gets some treatment as Dundee prepare to make a third change, and finally it will be Juan Sara to come into the action. And I wonder whether it was that missed chance by Stephen Milne that's put the thought in Dario Bonetti's head that had Sara been on the pitch, that would have been 2-1.
Well, we said long ago that it wasn't working at all for Dundee up front. The mix wasn't right. Dundee will find it very difficult to capitalise probably on some of the good work that Tamuri Ketsbaya's done in midfield. No great real release ball for them, and we called for Juan Sara to come on a lot earlier in the game.
Let's hear from Chick.
Yeah, all sorts of action down here. All sorts of action down here at trackside. First of all, Sara and Milne come the change being made. Celtic too are going to make a change. It's Steve Guppy who's being introduced into the play. The switch, I think, will be made for Paul Lambert. We'll sort that in a moment or two. And also trouble for Kemas. He's got a cut face. He's getting treatment at the touchline at that. We'll get back to the football in a moment or two, but Sarah about to be introduced as well. Paul Lambert has left the park. He's been replaced by Steve Guppy. Kemas getting treatment for a facial injury there. That's been sorted out. And there's a substitution being made. Juan Sarah at last being introduced into play for Dundee. And I think I can hand you back to commentary now, Bob. It's all gone quiet over here.
Yeah, it's not casualty on a Saturday night, it's sports scene on a Sunday afternoon, but blood streaming there from the face of Khaled Kemas. There he is, coming back onto the pitch, having got some treatment. He's back on, but no return for Paul Lambert. We'll hopefully find out the extent of that injury to the Celtic midfielder. But it's Steve Guppy who will play on the left side of midfield, and a little bit of a reshuffle for Celtic with Thompson moving one in. Hartson's header and through to Speroni. So hope you followed all that. I'll be asking questions later. Not sure I did. A flurry of activity there, but the scoreline remains the same. Celtic 2 up at Dens Park. Barry Smith pushing forward. Beyond Sara, and an easy take for Rob Douglas. Gets by it, and Begeto had gone into the box as well. Not for the first time in this match. The ball in, not quite good enough. Moravchik. Knocked over by Del Rio, but miraculously gets up and the ball is still his. Didier couldn't quite keep that in, but how did he do that?
It's always good to watch Moravchik. Got himself into a muddle here, managed to keep his balance. He's got such a low centre of gravity. Unfortunately, that Didier Gat just couldn't quite keep that one in, just to keep the sequence going.
It was like Trevor Stephen at his best. What memory I've got. The news of Paul Lambert is that it's nothing too serious. So for the second time in the match, Celtic are relieved to find out that, firstly with Larsson and now with Lambert, that the injury is not too serious. Begeto defending well against Hartson. Fan to Speroni. Altero losing possession. What is Julian Speroni doing? Need Alan Thompson for company there. Reluctant to just thump the ball away there, but maybe that was the best idea. Inside the last 15 minutes of the match, and Celtic add to their tally. Here's Hartson, and he just has done. 1 for Hartson, 3 for Celtic. And if you had any doubts in your mind about the outcome here, they've just gone.
Well, I just saw an absolutely wonderful piece of skill from Lubo Moravchik first and foremost. He drove this ball in from the left-hand side. Really volleyed it in at full steam. John Hartson managed to bring it under control. Got a little bit lucky with it from the first touch. In fact, indeed the second touch. But coolly slotted it over Speroni. But this is the skill that Moravchik has really on tap. And Hartson takes full advantage. And that really seals it for Celtic.
And I think the biggest tribute you could pay there to John Hartson for that finish is that Henrik Larsson would have been proud of that. Excellent control, lovely balance, the change of direction, and the little dink over the goalkeeper to score his 18th goal of the season. Brilliant from Hartson. As Kemas threatens for Dundee, just wide. The bang in the face hasn't done him too much harm.
Kemas just getting a little lucky break there. Just couldn't quite steer it inside the post there. Rob Douglas getting down. Again, showing how keen and active he is, despite not having much to do in the game.
End of the match for Didier Agat. Martin O'Neill will take the opportunity of giving 21-year-old Jamie Smith another slice of action, and another young Scot on the pitch. So just 12 minutes left of this match, and Celtic 3 up, and Dundee have now lost 10 goals this season in 3 games, not quite 3 games, to Celtic. 4-0, 3-1, and now 3-0.
It's always looked one-way traffic once Celtic got the first goal. So just doing enough as well, not over stressing themselves to overpower Dundee at all. It's fully in control of the game.
Hudson offside. One last chance to take part in the man of the match competition. One of the prizes is a DVD player. 0900 10 225. This costs just 60 pence per minute. You can text us as well on 07736 600 600. Who's been the outstanding performer this afternoon? If your thoughts agree with Trevor, you could be a winner. Smith battling to keep possession, and Neil Lennon is penalised. Not guilty of an awful lot here, I don't think. Or maybe he was. Loaded by Johan Mjällby. We're going to win the league, shout the Celtic supporters, and I don't think anyone's going to disagree with them.
I think as far as the title race was concerned today, it's vital for Celtic to get the win, just to keep the gap ahead of Rangers. Rangers are playing well at the moment. Anson Patricia's got them going well. Any slip up by Celtic, the Rangers will be there, I'm sure. But again, Martin O'Neill's got his men very well focused. Again, pulling in the 3 points that's required.
But this is spirited from Dundee. Sarah's offside. Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Trevor, is momentum, isn't it? Celtic have had it most of the season, and Martin O'Neill doesn't want to lose it now.
Well, they had the blip, of course, in the CIS Cup, but Rangers getting the benefit, or the better of them rather there. But Celtic have certainly had the right reaction. Martin O'Neill will be pleased with his players, the way that they've come back from that great win last week against Dunfermline. Certainly going the right way here again against Dundee.
3 up, and Alan Thompson on the ball. Now Neil Lennon. And at times it resembles something like a training exercise for Celtic. It did so against Dunfermline last weekend when the match was won so early on. John Hartson putting pressure on Walter Del Rio, but illegally, and a free kick is given against him for this push. But you'd just love to have John Hartson in your team, wouldn't you? Because he's always doing something. He's a good finisher, as he's shown already, and he's never out of the game for too long.
Well, one of the great question marks about John Hartson was fitness, and certainly since he's been under Martin O'Neill's command, he's not had any problems, and he's given everything in every game, and he is a quality player. If you look at his record, he's played for some good clubs, and continues not only to play well for Celtic but to score goals.
Possession lost by Ray. Ravchik to Petrov, and wide is Steve Guppy. Alan Thompson didn't get over it, tried to take it first time, which was ambitious. To a title party, these Celtic supporters, they knew it before, and they certainly know it now. It's countdown to the SPL Championship, and another entry into the Champions League, and they'll feel that they'll be able to do even better next season than they did this time round, and they were pretty close to getting through the first phase this time. And they will hope that Martin O'Neill gets the money he wants to bolster the squad and improve Celtic still further, because he knows he has to if they're to compete at the top level in Europe. They've steamrollered all before them domestically this season and last season, but Europe is a different ball game, isn't it, Trevor?
Yeah, that's got to be the target for Celtic. You know, obviously very much favourites to take the SPL, but the European stage is where Rangers and Celtic want to achieve. Rangers have the possibilities against Feyenoord to continue their march towards the UEFA Cup, but it is very important for both sides that they do make an impact there. Celtic have had a good league and a good season in the Champions League, and just faded out towards the end. That's certainly the target, as I say, that they need to aim for.
Thompson and Moravcik. Now Guppy. That was Romano. It's dropping from Moravcik. And again it was Alessandro Romano who won it for Dundee. Left by Ray for Ketsbaya. It's lost to Petrov. Thompson. Moravcik could be in here. Good save, Speroni. Moravcik saw him off his line, tried to chip him. The goalkeeper just made it.
A typical Moravcik effort. I think Speroni's been there for chipping all afternoon, actually, but Moravcik's attacked that time. Credit to Speroni, got himself back to his line pretty quickly. Touched the ball over for the corner for Celtic.
Well, there's more than 5 minutes left. In from Moravcik. Balde was there. And the free kick is Dundee's. He's a frightening presence when he comes up for these set pieces. But he's penalised this time. Steve Guppy getting a blink of first-team football. He hasn't had too much. Kimas to Romano. In for Sara, but Balde's first there. Corner kick. And there's been little or no service to Sara since he came on as a sub.
He's had no real support at all, Sara, since he came on. Too little, too late, it has to be said. We did think he might come on even in the first half because things weren't going so well. Struggling to make an impact.
Gets Baya's corner kick. Del Rio flung himself at it. So did Balde. Try again. Gets Baya. There's Del Rio. Kimas. Well, he caught that shot, but it went wide.
Yeah, he struck it well. Had to go through a sea of bodies to trouble Rab Douglas. But in the end, he just pulled it wide. Just came off the outside of his boot a little bit.
Looked quite lively, Trevor, since he came on.
Yeah, he's been active. I think he's contributed more than Caballero certainly did. He was on the field for 70 minutes.
Here's Sara for Kimas. Good run. Did well. Brilliant save by Rab Douglas. And that would have been some goal had it gone in.
Well, just highlighted what he brought to the game, Kimas, since he came on. Showed great balance, and he really caught that well. And that was certainly going inside the far post. Rab Douglas pulling off a sensational save, really. Fingertip stuff.
And the big surprise after that is that it's a goal kick. That was the clearest tip around the post you'll ever see from Rab Douglas. But
There'll be nobody more disappointed than Rab Douglas. It was only a goal kick, I tell you.
It's okay, Rab. We've just told the nation it was your save. And it was a superb stop as well from him, because that was heading in at the post from Kimas. Here's Gavin Ray. Dundee ending the match as they started it. It's been the bit in the middle, it's been the problem for them.
Well, it's often the way, just as Celtic take their foot off the gas. Dundee start to just apply a little bit of pressure.
Begetto trying to squeeze the ball in. Not allowed to do so. by Petrov. And that was Jamie Smith. Kemas making himself available. Good ball into the box. Sara tried to get that one under control and turn and shoot. Didn't quite come off for him. But he is a good finisher with 17 last season, and he's on 8 already for this season, and that's been an injury interrupted campaign for the Argentinian striker. Inside the last 2 minutes of the match at Dens, 3-0 Celtic. Smith, Thompson, mixed up between Begetto and Speroni. Hasn't really looked too happy this afternoon, Julian Speroni. We gather 2 minutes to be added and 1 minute of regulation time left. Good turn from Smith. Hartson. Shot blocked by Barry Smith.
Good work from Jamie Smith. It's a good opportunity for him to come on. Came off a Didier Gak. Showing that he's got a cool head in the box there. He's creating something, an opportunity for John Hartson.
Minutes played. In from Thompson. And away by Begetto. Fan won a good header against Mjällby. Sara to Kemas. He must be feeling confident. He's had an impact on the match, no doubt about that. Gets by a shot off the post. So close for Dundee, and agonising for Ketsbaya.
Certainly Rob Douglas didn't get a hand to that one, but Ketsbaya's he's had his moments in the game. I think Rob Douglas will be a little bit disappointed that his defence allowed him to shoot there. Celtic get away with it.
They've switched off, have Celtic, in these last few minutes, but they know that it's all pretty comfortable for them. There's not a serious threat. When you're 3-0 up, you've got to do something pretty seriously wrong to throw it away. Free kick given there against Hartson. Played 30 seconds of stoppage time. 90 seconds left at the end of the 90 minutes. It's Bayer. He's done it in instalments for Dundee this afternoon. Right at the start, right at the finish. But the main part of the proceedings have been bossed by Celtic. And here's one of the bosses, Lennon. Smith showed too much of it to Begetto. There's a hunger about Dundee at the moment. Sara. Stopped by Balde. Thumped away by Douglas. Now Ray too high. It's a spirited conclusion to this match as Celtic have some fun.
Well, so become a little bit untidy. And one Sara fighting away there with Bobo Balde. This is the interesting bit. Rob Douglas showing he's aware. It could have been construed as a pass back. Decided just to control it on his thigh.
I wonder if that's his keepy-uppy record. I think that was 2 I counted there from Douglas. But you can afford to smile in the closing stages when you're so far ahead, and Celtic have been so far ahead. If you remove the first 5 or 10 minutes, it's been their show all the way. And another 3 Premier points for them. Another win towards another title. John Hartson got the only goal of the second half. It was number 3 for Celtic, who already had a healthy lead thanks to first half goals from Johan Mjällby and Henrik Larsson, who was taken off with an injured hamstring. But they've cruised it, and Martin O'Neill will be delighted again with the application of his side who've shown again why they are about to be crowned champions.
Well, apart from the first 10 minutes, Rob, Celtic were fully in control. When they got the first goal, that was just about it. Wrighton was on the wall for Dundee. They never really had any potency, Dundee up front. Celtic, marshalled by Sutton at the back, were never in any doubt about the outcome of this game. And they say they capitalised the second half with Hartson scoring, and that was it. Points are in the bag. A
16th clean sheet for Rob Douglas in the SPL, and he's the last man off on his old stomping ground, and he had to produce a thrilling save right at the end, which wasn't even noticed by Mike McCurry. So he's off with a clean sheet. Paul Lambert was the scorer of one of the 3 Celtic goals, and the skipper's with Chick.
So too is the manager, Martin O'Neill, joined us. Martin, first of all, that was a very comfortable afternoon for you, wasn't it?
It turned out that way, Chick, yeah. It was a game that we were obviously concerned about away from home against a side that always gets up against us anyway, and also a difficult pitch, but players were excellent today.
I really know you better than this, that complacency is never a danger for Celtic, but when you're so far ahead and you've got the finishing line in sight, you have to warn your players.
Well, the finishing line is definitely in sight now. That was a big win away from home today. As I would say, we were up for the game. We knew how important it was for us. We've got a big game now next week, and one that we can concentrate on. But this was a massive win for us today.
I have to ask you about the injury to Henrik Larsson. Is it serious?
Yeah, we will not know that probably until tomorrow. But he was feeling something anyway. The best thing to do is to get him off the field.
And a note to the man beside you. I mean, I've got a man of the match. Bought a champagne to give him a moment, but it just gets better and better the older he gets.
It's a vintage bottle for a vintage player, you know. Yeah.
I'll let you to present that to him, but
well deserved. Well done, Paul.
and turning to you, Paul. I mean, you strolled through that game, didn't you?
No, when you say it's a stroll, you've got to work hard to get. You've got to earn the right to play, and the team was very good.
The first goal was important. I think we can possibly have a look at that. It got you off to get started, didn't it?
Yeah. It's important, I think, for us to get the first goal. If we're fighting against it, it's very hard for us. But when we get the first goal, we're a hard team to beat. And John's put a great pass in there, and Henrik's there.
Henrik Larsson's never going to miss them. Do you feel you're getting more comfortable there? It seems to us looking on, and I'm scared to mention Scotland to you again, but you feel more comfortable?
And I feel, I said yesterday, I feel at this moment in time, I feel good. This is obviously the had to my ankle there, but it's just the initial block that gave me a wee bit of fright. But it's a job that I've got to try and do, and it's worked.
Well, just the ankle injury. I mean, is it going to keep you out? Do you feel any lasting pain?
No, I hope not tonight, and just resting. We've training tomorrow, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I have to ask you another question. Has Bertie Vogts phoned you yet?
God, no. As I said yesterday, the situation is out respect and manners for everything he's done in the game. You don't disrespect somebody that way and just turn them a flat. No, you've got to go and listen to his views, but he's also got to respect my decision, which is I have stopped. You know?
I'm going to speak to him at the draw meeting in Frankfurt on Tuesday. Am I free to give him your phone number?
No, no. No, I'm quite happy the way things are going. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Enjoy the champagne, Paul. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye.
Paul Lambert, man of the match there, talking to Chick Young, handing out phone numbers. No like him. Craig Brown, that saving tackle we just saw there was a crucial stage of the match. Celtic were 2-0 up at the time, and after that mistake by Bobo Baldy, it was a great stop from Paul Lambert.
It was. Paul did exceptionally well throughout the game. I think fully merited, although he didn't play the full game, fully merited the man of the match award. But Dundee, I thought, had a spirited second half, and you know, when young Stephen Milne might have headed the chance that came across from the left, that would have put them back in the game. Sure. But of course Celtic, predictably, they go to the other end, and wonderful skill from Moravcik getting the ball across for Hartson. So if young Milne had done the business there, which I think in other circumstances he might have done, it could have been a different outcome.
Yeah, well, let's have a look. 3-0 the final score here at Dens Park. This is how it turned out. Eventually, this is definitely the way it turned out. The first goal we've just seen there, again, Paul Lambert involved, did some great work, but first of all, John Hartson with a great through ball.
Yeah, but Paul going ahead of the ball, it's unusual for Paul to go ahead, but he knows that he's got the security of Neil Lennon behind, and more you see him actually going into the box and creating goal-scoring chances, and that was great play. Not matched by the midfield, as I said at half-time, of Dundee, unfortunately for Dundee, but first-class play. Good play by Lennon, then by Hartson, and of course Lambert's run was the key to the whole situation, and very unselfishly giving it to Henrik Larsson.
It does also, I think, the defender did quite well. A little pushy, but Larsson's there. Henrik Larsson's there, and no one at all kind of marking him.
No.
Similar situation with the second goal. Johan Mjalby, no one marking him either.
No, he's peeled off very well. He peeled off like a striker at the back there, and I think it was quite instinctive. He saw the chance. He saw the Dundee defenders being sucked to the ball, their concentration being in a ball-watching manner, and he just peeled off a yard. And we've seen that so often. Good strikers have done it, but Mjalby did it very well. And his down header was, of course, the way to score.
Yeah. Now John Hartson, we'll mention him because he got the third goal. Obviously, his 18th goal of the season. His work rate during the match was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely first class. Hartson, a great striker there. Terrific foil for Henrik Larsson. But the ball across, you've got to give credit. I've never seen a more two-footed player than Moravcik, and either foot, he put it across brilliantly. But that was striking of the highest calibre. Very cool. Many people just have blasted it against the chest of the goalkeeper, but it was clever work that. Oh, brilliant. Just chipped him magnificently there. Great credit to John Hartson.
So I think it's amazing also that he obviously got a good touch for the first touch, but the way he changed his feet here is quite incredible.
Yeah, I think his first touch, it was good, but I think a bit fortunate too, because Del Rio just sold himself there, and the goalkeeper was halfway out, making it easy. The decision was easy, just chip the keeper, but very well done.
Okay. Well, we can hand now to Chick Young. He's trackside at the moment.
Henrik, first thing I have to ask you about is the injury. How serious is it?
I don't know. It doesn't feel that bad now. It was just precaution. That's why I came off. I felt a little bit when I done a sprint. I felt a little bit in my hammy, but it should be okay. So we just have to wait and see.
That was a pretty straightforward victory for Celtic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an important win. It's always difficult, especially here when we play Dundee. But today, we got the early goal, and then Johan's 2-0, I think, sealed it. It's always hard to score against us, and we showed that today again. And then John kills off the game completely with a lovely goal.
And your old pal Chris Sutton, no problem playing at the back, is it?
No, he's a quality player, so wherever we put him down in the team, he's going to perform very good. Shows that today again. Good vision, had a great ball in the first half on Didier Gat, and it just shows which kind of player he is.
Thanks, Henrik. All the best.
Thank you.
Henrik Larsson, another great performance by him today. Of course, this was the first of our 5 live matches on BBC One Scotland over the next 2 weeks. On Thursday night, we've got the match between Rangers and Feyenoord. It kicks off, or we kick off at 8 o'clock on Thursday, and Rangers, the first leg of the UEFA Cup match they have there. And also next week we have Tennant Scottish Cup action for Athletic against Rangers as well. We'll be on air at 10-3. Craig, 3-0 the final score here. Would you say that it flattered Celtic, or was it a fair result?
I would say it slightly flattered Celtic. I think it didn't do Dundee credit, but Celtic were the better team by far, and they've got all the resources they can bring on. When a great player Larsson is off, on comes Moravcik. It's things like that. Sutton at centre half when Bulgarin's injured. So, I mean, Celtic, I think, I've got to say, have the league wrapped up, and all credit to them. Just hope Rangers can do it in the UEFA Cup.
I was going to say, looking ahead to Thursday night, you're with us in the studio. Do you think the Rangers can do it? Feyenoord are a tricky proposition.
I don't know Feyenoord well enough to make comment on that, but I'll do a little research before Thursday. But I would love to think that Rangers would continue to fly the flag for Scotland and Europe, and a great credit to our Scottish Premier League if they do that. Celtic, very unfortunate, winning their 3 home group games. To go out was most unfortunate, I think.
Alan McLeish seems to have turned the spirit round amongst the Rangers camp, for, going into this European game. Interesting to see how well he's done. Well,
I think so. No discredit to Alex. He's done very, very well. But a new manager always lifts things initially, and Alex maintained that. The initial boost has been sustained. So, great credit to Alex. He's a smashing big guy, and I hope he does very, very well. And for Scottish football, we hope that all teams, and Celtic look like going in next year to the Champions League, and we hope that we flourish, and I'm sure under great direction of Martin O'Neill and Alec McLeish we've every chance.
OK, well that game's live on BBC One Scotland on Thursday tonight, but the story of the match here, it's 13 points at the top of the SPL again, Celtic winning 3-0 against Dundee. From all of the sports scene team, thanks for your company, goodbye.